Here in Nigeria, stakeholders in the education and labor sectors have stressed the need to strengthen technical and vocational education and training (TVET) as a tool for job creation. They noted that the country's rising unemployment figures could be reduced if more young people embraced vocational skills. Experts explained that skills in areas like ICT, fashion, welding, and renewable energy could help many Nigerians start their own businesses rather than rely on scarce white-collar jobs. They argue that with better funding, improved training facilities, and access to credit, TVET could produce a new generation of entrepreneurs. They also pointed out that changing negative perceptions about vocational education was key to attracting more youth into the sector. According to them, TVET should be seen as a valuable career path capable of reducing poverty and boosting the economy. For expert perspectives on how to leverage technical and vocational education and training TVET as a catalyst for job creation, the Executive Secretary, National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, Professor Idris Bugaje, now joins us on Newsday. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us.
Good afternoon, moderator. Thank you.
All right, let's begin with a general overview of how TVET has performed since invention or initiation. What specific job creation numbers has it generated over the past 5 years?
Well, past 5 years may be too long an assessment because TVET was really facing serious crisis in the last almost 30 years. Since 70s, 80s, TVET had been abandoned. It's only recently in the last 2 years that we have seen very serious interventions that give us hope that TVET is going to come back to its past glory. So far we have been able to, the federal government under the Federal Ministry of Education has launched the new TVET initiative, which aims to facilitate massive training of young people, not only through the technical colleges, but through other skills training centers and vocational enterprise institutions, so that thousands of Nigerians would be given the relevant skills of their choice, and then they will now be facilitated so that they can start their own businesses or they can be employed by industry.
Well said. Now, how do you bridge the gap between TVET training and actual employment opportunities in the market?
Well, the 25 programs scheduled for the new TVET initiative were carefully crafted after making a skills gap analysis. We have observed that in the construction sector, a lot of the skills needed in that sector are coming from West African Francophone countries, especially Togo and Benin. If you go to construction sites in Abuja, a lot of those doing the finishing, the tiling, the POP are from those Francophone countries. In the areas of industrial technologies like welding and fabrication, a lot of the industrial, infrastructural projects in this country were importing Asians to deliver them. The Dangote refinery is a typical example. The railway expansion is another, etc. So for that reason, we have already done some mapping, and we have zeroed down on those 25 skill sets. And these are the ones under the new TVET initiative. And we hope over the coming years, we shall be able to close those gaps. Nigeria should be able to export skilled labor. With our large population, very youthful population, though 60% of Nigerian population are below 25 years, you can't find this in many other countries of the world. So we have a very good potential to train young people and even to meet local needs and even to export them across to the world, so that they can bring in foreign exchange to the nation.
And when you talk about these local needs, in what areas do you think these skills are really needed, especially when you look at vocational skills? And also, how can a stronger partnership be built between TVET institutions and the private sector to close the employability gap?
Sure. There is, we have already done our analysis. The gaps are there. Construction skills. I've mentioned, a lot of gaps in those areas. There is also welding and fabrication, automobile repairs, CNG and LPG, vehicular use, etc. Even things like cosmetology what do you call it, tailoring and fashion design. So many of them, for both girls and for both boys. There are a lot of gaps. And so this initiative is really aimed at bridging those gaps, to give opportunity to young people. There are a lot of unemployment across the country. People with a diploma, people with degrees, but there are no skills, and they don't get any job. This is an opportunity to come on board. They are going to be paid stipends. The training tuition will be paid by government, and even their industrial attachment for further hands-on training will be paid by government, and the certification will also be paid by government. So this is a great opportunity for Nigerian youth, those who are unemployed or underemployed. They could come and acquire skills so that they can meet those gaps, bridge those gaps. Not only to be employed, but another objective is to create entrepreneurs. If you have the skills, you can get a small loan, or you can get some starter pack, and you can set up on your own, and you can even employ other people. So that's the objective, and we are very hopeful that millions of Nigerians will be empowered through this new TVET initiative.
Hopefully that will be the case. Now let's talk about a shift from mindset. How do you address the stigma that is sometimes associated with technical education in comparison to university degrees?
It's very unfortunate that up till today, Nigerians are yet to come to the reality of the modern world. In the past, people used to give a lot of attention to university degrees. We have produced so many graduates, they are there unemployed, they cannot even cater for themselves. By the time you acquire skills, you can be able to look after yourself. You can even employ others. It's a very unfortunate situation in this country. All over the world, skills are valued. Those who have skills, they earn more than those who have the paper qualification. I will give you a typical example. In the United Kingdom, if you are a plumber, a master class person who is a plumber would earn nothing less than £15,000 in 1 month. A university professor in the UK gets only £5,000. So he earns 3 times. So all over the world, that is the trend. Unfortunately here, we look down upon skills. It's a very unfortunate mentality, but we are set to change that. Our motto in the MBT is skills, not degrees. And that's what we are promoting. Young people should embrace this. Skills is what give you dignity as a human being. Instead of roaming around with certificates and there are no jobs for you, you can set up on your own. You can join any of the projects, ongoing projects across the country. At the moment, we are importing a lot of skilled labor. Dangote imported about 11,000 Indians to deliver that world-class refinery, the largest single-train refinery in the world. There is need for us really to empower our youth so that they can get the skills. We fill the skill gaps locally, and we even export labor across the world. Bangladesh exports 11.5 million Bangladeshis every year. India exports over 50 million every year. If you go to the Middle East, they are all, manned by Indians and Bangladeshis. There is need for Nigeria to take on those opportunities. ICT is another area. We are not really, taking that opportunity. So this intervention is going to change the narrative. We hope very soon Nigerian youth will get those required skills so that they can set up on their own, or they can take jobs elsewhere in Nigeria or outside the borders of Nigeria.
And that's absolutely fantastic. We also look forward to that. But, earlier you were talking about the fact that TVET has encountered some challenges in the past and that it only got better in the past 2 years. Can we talk about some of these challenges? And if you have the power to implement a reform in TVET, what would that be?
Well, number one, governments stopped investing in TVET for a very long time. For example, if you go to the States, most of the technical colleges have collapsed. Many of them have been converted into conventional secondary schools. The numbers are now very low, 129 technical colleges as against over 15,000 senior secondary schools in Nigeria. It should have been on the other, the reverse order. So we hope with this initiative, state governments will now start reviving their technical colleges so that they can also benefit from this intervention. State governments need to invest more into the technical colleges, bring in modern equipment, fix the infrastructural deficit. And with this, we can be able now to get states to buy into this new scheme. So besides that, also, there is this notion of a technical person is psychologically seen as below the standard of a degree holder. That is a very unfortunate syndrome. And we hope this will also change with time. By the time we empower young people, and by the time the community see their performance, I think more people will come into this scheme.
Now, as we round up with you, how do you measure success in TVET beyond enrollment numbers?
Well, the number of people we take out of the streets is very important. But more importantly, Nigeria should stop importing skilled labor. This must be stopped because it's not only losing out opportunities for young people, it is also associated with capital flight. Imagine bringing 11,000 Asians into this country. If each one of them is exporting $5,000 every year, if you calculate, it's running into billions of dollars every year. It's a very serious capital flight. So these are some of the challenges which must be addressed through training young Nigerians to give them the relevant skills, industry-relevant skills, so that we can be able to stop importing skilled labor into this great country of ours.
And we do hope that all of the challenges are resolved so that we can have more employable youth in the country. We must appreciate you, Executive Secretary, National Board for Technical Education, NBT, Professor Idris Bugaje.